This is a map of the continents of the Earth showing how much ultraviolet light lands in each latitude. It turns out the closer you are to the equator, the more intense the ultraviolet. We use reds and purples. But then as you move away from the equator, we change the colors to orange, yellow, greens, and grays. Now here's the same map of the same continent with just one color. And it turns out that everybody on Earth is descended from people that live here in Africa. And then as groups of us moved around the world, the color of our skin had to change. And here's why. Our skin is where we make vitamin D. If you don't get enough ultraviolet, you don't get enough vitamin D. But if you get too much ultraviolet, then you break down your folates. You have to have it in perfect balance. And because the ultraviolet varies, the color of our skin varies. And that's it, everybody. That's why we have different colored skin. But we're all one species. But we're not treating each other fairly. Not everybody's getting an even shake. So it's time to change.
But in terms of Homo sapiens, we know from not just archaeological information, but also from biological information, that all human beings who live on the earth today, nearly 8 billion human beings, have the DNA that comes from one African woman who lived in East Africa between 200,000 and 300,000 years ago. So the first thing to know about Africa and black people is that before 70,000 years ago, everybody in the world was black. And the reason everybody in the world was black before 70,000 years ago was because we had not migrated out of the continent of Africa. It's the migration out of the continent of Africa that gave the world its differentiation. So that's the first thing. Well, that's a sort of a basic kind of thing.
Be afraid of you.
Well, there's no need to be afraid of me because I only stand for principles.
But what you know and the knowledge you share and what you have insights to can be very dangerous to some people.
Yes, but my job is to come here and waken people. That's what the Matrix is about, to wake you up from the Matrix, to get you out of the illusions and the lies and the ignorance. So it's not dangerous for me because that's my job. That's what I came here to do. That's why I wrote The Matrix and Terminator, to wake people up so they can move on to greater, better things.
Yeah, but a lot
making the That is a fact. Now, here's
like
the
a
point
Total
on this.
Recall.
They 100%
making
the Matrix. Total Recall. Everybody watch the original Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Watch that movie. Elon Musk currently is talking about something with his company called Neuralink, where he wants to implant a chip inside of the heads of people. So that you will be able to go into the metaverse without the Oculus, without the need for any type of technology, because you have it installed inside your brain. Where did he get this idea? Or he may not have gotten it directly from this person, but this person came with this idea first. You have someone by the name of Louis Jolly West, a racist devil who used to work at UCLA, who said, look, these Negroes are too unruly. I don't like how these black men are operating, so I want to get money from the government to install electrodes inside of their brain to shock them whenever they start exhibiting some type of behavior that I don't like. This ain't new. Bill Gates has purchased over 200,000 acres of land because they are now mixing these poisonous materials from these needles in with food to make an edible injection. I really don't like the fact that this is.
COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin.
They will control us when they control our food supply. I tell people all the time, they're not dummies. They're not just gearing up and strengthening their military and manipulating currency and stealing our IP. They're also slowly going after our food supply, and that's truly when they control us. So all of this inflation and this bad economic policy allows other countries to strengthen themselves and weakens America, and it will have long-lasting effects on us. So it's the family at home and what they can't pay for that they could pay for a year ago, but also it has a long-lasting effect in how much it weakens America for the next decade or so, or even in the long term when it strengthens our enemies.
My job is to come here and waken people. That's what the Matrix is about, to wake you up from the Matrix, to get you out of the illusions and the lies and the ignorance.
Right? Because after a while, these black folks who were enslaved Africans and these quote-unquote white folks who were poor Europeans are going to figure out they're all getting played by these rich people. Right? So ultimately, the rich figure out they got to come up with some way to get somebody in that group on their team. The easiest thing is to get the poor Europeans, right? Because at least they look like you. They sort of share some of the customs and the culture. So they all of a sudden create this thing called whiteness, and they say, now you're part of the club. And we're going to take the white men, now called white men, and put them on the slave patrol to keep black people in line. Give them a horse and a gun and a badge and make them feel big and powerful, right? They're still poor. They still don't have anything. They didn't pay the slave patrol well, right? Just exploited them, used them as a buffer between the elite and the other poor folks, particularly poor folks of color. And pretty soon the rebellions that occasionally happened where black and white got together to overthrow the elite, those stopped because the divide and conquer had begun to work.
That's why I wrote The Matrix and Terminator, to wake people up so they can move on to greater, better things.
Yeah, but a lot.
You know what, Mr. Foxman, I wish you and I could have a dialogue. You wouldn't put that small-time stuff over on me that you put on scared-to-death Negroes, that if they mentioned you and you call them anti-Semitic, they start bowing to you and your pressure. Kanye West, don't bow to the pressure to apologize to anybody. You said nothing wrong. Who are you, Farrakhan, to tell him that he said nothing wrong? I am directly from the Christ and the Messiah. So what I tell you has more weight than anything that these enemies might want to say. You have nothing to apologize for. It is their fear of the truth. And that's why it gives me pleasure to defend my brother.
That's why I wrote The Matrix and Terminator, to wake people up so they can move on to greater, better things.
Yeah, but a lot.
The interesting thing about this country is if they talk about how we have freedom of choice. You know, we have freedom of choice. Yeah, very limited. If it's an important thing, limited choice. Two political parties, essentially, two. Big media companies, 5, 6.
Max.
Yeah. Oil companies down to 3 now, I think, overall, 3 or 4. Banks, the big brokerage houses, the big accounting firms, all of the things that are important reduced in choice. Newspapers in a city, how many? Used to be 3, 4, now it's 1 or 2 that are owned by the same people, and they also own a radio station and a TV station. But jelly beans, 32 flavors. Ice cream, all the things that don't matter. The unimportant things, a lot of choices. And you know what I say? You know what your freedom of choice is in America? Paper or plastic. That's it, man. It comes down to paper or plastic, cash or charge, aisle or window, smoking or non-smoking, Coke or Pepsi. These are your choices. Everything else is kind of laid out for you. You get to do what they really want. They do what they want.
We all know some folks in our lives. They say crazy stuff. We're all like, well, you know, Uncle Joe, you know what happened to him. They're part of the family, but you don't give them serious responsibility.
that whole fucking thing with Manson was a CIA psyop.
Oh, yeah.
He was a part of all that MK Ultra LSD studies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They were letting him out of jail. He was getting arrested, and then they would go to the people that arrested him and go, no, let him go. And they would have to let him go. And these sheriffs were like, it's above my pay grade. And they had to let him go. And he was connected to a bunch of different robberies and shit. He was on parole. He should have been locked up. Jolly West visited him in jail. It's documented they visited him in jail. And he was a part of their program. They would take people, especially people that were charismatic, and teach them how to use psychedelics to influence people.
Trump and Hillary Clinton are both related to John of Gaunt. Barack Obama is a distant cousin of Dick Cheney. Obama can call 6 US presidents his cousin, even Winston Churchill. Is this just pedigree collapse, a coincidence? Or is this the divine right to rule? A 12-year-old at the time proved that 42 out of 43 US presidents are descendants of King John of England. 34 US presidents blood related to Charlemagne. 19 of them directly descended from King Edward III. Bill Clinton and Bob Dole, they're related too.
Salinas, who claims to have made a major discovery about President Obama. She and her grandfather say that President Obama is related to all but one U.S. president. We get more tonight from Action News reporter Felix Cortez, who's live in our Salinas newsroom.
Well, Dan, the youngster spent the summer, really all summer, tracing the family tree of our presidents. Her conclusion that all the presidents, with the exception of one, share the same grandfather.
Well, first we start off with George Washington at the top. And then it goes to John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
11-year-old Bridget Dovigneau says she's made a first-of-its-kind discovery that President Obama and all the presidents before him, with the exception of one, are related and descendants of a former king of England.
No, they are all cousins, and they're grandsons of John Lackland.
Dovigneau says she spent countless hours on the internet over the summer.
You think if we really wanted fucking electric cars, we couldn't have them? The first electric car was in 1846, I believe. I know. It was 35 or 40 years before gasoline cars. Everybody knew people will take more seriously is when Aramco, Saudi, the kingdom, runs out of oil. Now, I'm here to tell you, they have hundreds of trillions of barrels. They're never going to run out of fucking oil in your children's lifetime.
Now, how stupid can we be?
His aim is to clone a human being by injecting the unique DNA of an individual into a woman's egg to give birth to a human replica.
This is a disgrace, Doctor. 70% of these children, by your own words, would be born mutated.
Tell them, do not freeze the embryos.
And playing God and playing devil, I'd rather play God.
Good morning. Would it be possible to clone humans?
Our administration believes that there are loopholes that could allow the cloning of human beings if the technology were developed.
Humans made to order, mothers giving birth to themselves, babies conceived just so their body parts can be transplanted. Come with me into the scary new world of cloning.
I'm a second gen now. That's why you see the celebrity births say I'm born in Toronto, but that's false. My first gen was born in Jersey. However, I was cloned by Clonate in Canada.
The Illuminati knows the answers, taking bone samples to clone rappers. But the artists in prison to silence their vision, genetic copies going home, man.
I mean, all this story about Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news. Not the intelligent design of some God above the clouds, but our intelligent design. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over.
It was
worse and worse, don't they? Well, at least it doesn't lower your testosterone and turn you into a eunuch. Oh, it does that as well. A 2021 study shows that chemicals known as phthalates, a chemical element of microplastics, have been linked to health problems that have been detected in food from popular chains McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Taco Bell, and Chipotle. I wonder if these plastics are in any way connected to this. Shanna Swan, professor of environmental medicine and public health at Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York City, documented how average sperm counts among Western men have more than halved in the past 40 years. Do you ever feel there's a broad globalist project to neuter and neutralize people and their reproductivity, to make males into kind of eunuchs and create a world where people can't fight back and resist? Let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments. To turn everything into a commodity, to grow meat in laboratories, to get people to eat insects, and surely they would never get people to buy babies from a factory. Her research reveals that phthalates lower testosterone and so have the strongest influences on the male side, for example, diminishing sperm count. There's an onslaught on nature, almost our psychic nature and our biological nature is being attacked by a system that sees us primarily as customers. It doesn't want us to have any vitality, liberty, or ability to fight back. If you follow the curve from 2017 sperm decline meta-analysis, it predicts that by 2045 we will have a median sperm count of 0. That's the median, so some people might have 1 sperm. It's speculative to extrapolate, but there is also no evidence that it's tapering off. This means that most couples may have to use assisted reproduction. Of course, it could be argued that assisted reproduction creates yet another industry and turns another natural resource and process into something that could be profitable. In 2017, scientists created a biobag that functioned as an artificial womb. Oh, way back in the biobag, we knew that you'd become a footballer, and they used it to grow baby lamb. Now a concept has been unveiled showing how the same could be done for humans. But surely no one would ever do that. Recent footage from Ectolife shows what childbirth might look like tomorrow. This is a startling glimpse into what is 100% feasible, and already Elon Musk has affirmed that Ectolife is viable and likely needed. The best case scenario then is that the pollution they created and ultimately led to infertility will be utilised to create a new industry selling us babies instead of us having them at home. The worst case scenario, of course, is an army of sentient cyborgs that will imprison us all in our homes.
Hey family, I tend to agree with Russell Brand. I didn't know who this guy was, but I kind of watched a couple of his videos. And this production of babies thing, y'all might think it's a game, but this is technology that already exists, powered by Elon Musk. And they get ready to try to launch soon. But for me, the first thing I think about, for you to launch, the amount of babies y'all thinking about production, a mass casualty or something bad is going to happen for this to become an actual necessity. So just keep your mind open. This ain't a game. Do your research and find out. I agree 100% with everything this guy has to say in this video. So check out the full video. I'm going to post a lot of it, try to review it, but check it out and let me know your thoughts. All right.
You remember The Matrix? Yeah. I remember thinking we shouldn't let that happen. Oh, that we shouldn't. Oh.
Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy.
First question, before we go any further about your real-life Matrix baby factory, that energy better be renewable. Your fucking soul isn't.
Ectolife allows infertile couple to conceive a baby and become the true biological parents of their own offspring.
Perhaps this is why we live in times of delirium, where we're uncertain about how we're supposed to live and who we're supposed to be. And to clarify, I believe that people should be able to express themselves however they want to and identify however they want to. But the industrialization and technologization of the most natural processes that are afforded to us, I don't think is going to lead to a utopia. When you look at this, do you think utopia's on its way?
The facility features 75 highly equipped labs.
I don't really feel that comfortable with a sushi bar where what's on the menu is little babies. I'll have 1 brown one and 2 white ones, please. Well done.
Each state-of-the-art lab can accommodate up to 400 growth pods or artificial wombs.
Choose whichever way you want to describe this hellscape. I think I'll go with growth pods. Nice choice, sir. Welcome to freedom.
Every pod is designed to replicate the exact conditions that exist inside the mother's uterus.
It's exactly like that. You can't sort of digitally recreate the experience of someone else's beating heart and love. And I know that some people actually believe that you can, but this is all just a synthetic experience, absolutely devoid of spirit, and that everything can be mechanized, materialized, rationalized, recreated through technology. But what that will lead to to, in my opinion, is the centralization of more and more power and control, and the loss of the most vital thing we have, our spirit, our ability to be human in all our fallibility and all our flaws. We have lost our connection to nature, and I feel that old ecto-life here, perhaps with the best intentions in the world, might be doing the work of Satan.
A single building can incubate up to 30,000 lab-grown babies per year.
Now, 30,000 babies, amazing. Technology has made some amazing events, but you can't produce what God has made. I don't care what this is. You is absent of spirit, family, loving, just the whole genetic experience. You can't duplicate that and think it is. Yes, we already know they are cloning humans, so I think that's why they're launching this technology now. But just keep watching. You're going to be more and more shocked how this reminds you of the actual Matrix movies in reality today.
I love the concept of growing babies in the lab. I love it. What's not to love about all babies looking like little rotisserie chickens, all lined up in their little pods? But is there enough babies in that lab? Sure, there's up to 30,000. Oh, that's all I needed to know. You have my money.
Ectolife allows your baby to develop in an infection-free environment.
Right, the heightened fear, pandemics, germs, disease. You don't need to worry about that, man. We'll grow your baby in a germ-free and love-free environment. Actually, the Matrix now. I put one of those babies up. Fuck this! I'm out here!
Every growth pod features sensors that can monitor your baby's vital signs, including heartbeat, temperature, blood pressure, breathing rate,
and its slow dawning realization that it's been entirely extracted from nature.
The artificial intelligence-based system also monitors the physical features of your baby and reports any potential genetic abnormalities. Ectolife growth pods feature internal speakers that play a wide range of words and music to your baby.
Now, customizing babies, talking to your babies inside an artificial womb, it still never replaced the natural ability to have your own baby. And for people who can't naturally have it, that's why they have in vitro fertilization. You know, you got donor moms and stuff like that. But in adoption, I mean, that still had their place. And this could be, I guess, helpful for a lot of people. But I know the powers that be who's coming up with this technology is not coming out for the well-being of society. I can guarantee you that. So I don't know, man. Is it good? Is it bad? Share your thoughts and let me know what you think. But it's never the same.
Ectolife improves your bonding experience with your baby. Thanks to a 360 degrees camera that's fitted inside your baby through the app, you can choose the playlist that your baby listens to.
It's enough fucking trouble looking after the little bastards when they're born. I've been doing their playlists before.
You can also directly sing to your baby and make them familiar with your voice before birth. Our goal is to provide you with an intelligent offspring that truly reflects your smart choices.
Your smart choices to extract yourself. What we're being offered now is progress and technology in place of spirit and acceptance that there's only so far that humanity can go and only so far that humanity should go.
And I totally agree with him here, man. I know technology advancements are a necessity, but it's some things I think we should always lead the natural order. You know, sometimes you can't take it to that extreme. We'll never be gods. They can boost people. They can do all kind of things that's going to come to light in these days, which I technically found out. But it's going to be shocking that they're trying to power humans into gods and doing that through an unnatural process. Who knows? It could be possibly good. But just history has shown when man tries to tamper with human nature, and evidence has shown is never a good thing. So I'm kind of conflicted in this whole process. But it's already done. They got plants. They got mass facilities already ready to get on the market. So when did this technology came? Nobody never knew about it, but now they're releasing more and more evidence now. So that's what my thoughts always go to. Why now?
The first bioreactor contains nutrients and oxygen.
Lovely green Hulk spunk nutrients,
which are supplied to your baby through an artificial umbilical cord.
What we've done is we've wrung out a Shrek and we feed it straight into your baby's belly.
This bioreactor also contains a liquid solution that serves as the amniotic fluid that surrounds babies in the mother's uterus.
And that bioreactor's got some nutrients in it that can synthesize long traditional connections to the earth and your ancestors and your family and evolution itself and God and the human spirit and the complexity and suffering and pain that human beings have to learn to accommodate. We actually didn't put that in there. It made the green too brown.
Thanks to a system controlled by artificial intelligence, each baby receives custom nutrients tailored to their needs. Prior to placing the fertilized embryo of your baby inside the growth pod, in vitro fertilization is used to create and select the most viable and genetically superior embryo.
Genetically superior? Have we been down this road before? Something about genetic superiority? No. I don't remember that being part of the dangerous ideology as well before.
Giving your baby a chance to develop without any biological hurdles. And if you want your baby to stand out and have a brighter future,
Do tell me how to do it. Will it cost me my soul?
our elite package offers you the opportunity to genetically engineer the embryo before implanting it into the artificial womb.
Genetically engineer it! Finally, a master race without the messy PR.
Now I get having growth pods to help mothers and parents and families who can't produce kids on their own. And now you're getting into genetically modifying each kid. Now that's a little bit, I don't want to say unnatural, even though the process is all unnatural, but that's getting into a whole different realm. Now you can specifically designate and alter their DNA. Are they still human? Are they your kids? I mean, all kind of questions goes into stuff like this to give them a better benefit, making them stronger, smarter, all this and that, man. We done seen this time and time again. It still never be natural, and I don't know if they should go on with it or not.
Thanks to CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing tool, you can edit any trait of your baby through a wide range of over 300 genes.
Lonely, no, edit, too reflective, edit, non-compliant, edit.
By genetically engineering a set of genes,
I'll take Princess Leia.
The Elite Package allows you to customize your baby's eye color, hair color, skin tone, physical strength, height, and level of intelligence.
I'll have a nice, strong, little Princess Leia.
It also allows you to fix any inherited genetic diseases that are part of your family history so that your baby and their offspring will live a healthy, comfortable life, free of genetic diseases.
Now, share your thoughts on this, man. Are they going too far? Is it a necessity? And when do you think this event will take place? Like I say, the technology already exists. They got plants already ready to go. It's just waiting on the release date. So we already cloning humans. Now we're genetically modifying babies to have better strength, better stamina, energy. You can even change their appearance, their DNA. You're changing. So is it too much or is it a necessity? Do you think we need this? Share your thoughts, man. Let me know what you think. Myself, it's a whole unnatural events. I never think that man should try to replace or try to think they have the ability to be God. And I think it's just going to be a dangerous slope. But now you can modify their thoughts, actions, and pretty much make human robots. Let me know what you think.
Look, I think that everyone is going to have to take a hard look at where they want to be at this moment in history as we're looking at efforts across the country to prevent people from being able to exercise their fundamental rights. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Look, I think that everyone is going to have to take a hard look at where they want to be at this moment in history as we're looking at efforts across the country to prevent people from being able to exercise their fundamental rights. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
And now fast forward to the early 21st century when we just don't need the vast majority of the population.
Right now, 20% of the world is suffering from water shortages. We're going to start having water shortages in this country. We have water shortages and have food shortages. So what the council and all these rich people on earth are saying is that we got to start getting rid of some of these people. We're going to start with the non-producers. Now, who are the non-producers in America? The only people in America that produces absolutely nothing except sweat is black folk. No, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, right now, all of our people that are supposed to be successful, guess what? The only thing they produce is sweat. They're running with balls, football, basketball, baseball, tennis ball, golf ball, singing and dancing, producing sweat. Nobody's buying any damn sweat. Now, how are you going to feed yourself? Right. You don't produce anything. We don't have any industries.
We have this generation of men and women who are born without enslavement as a reality.
There was this thriving community where Black people, Black families were accumulating wealth. They were starting their own businesses.
There were newspapers, there were politicians, there were lawyers, there were scientists. People were like, we're going full throttle into assuming our rights and our freedoms. It wasn't like this kind of like, let's wait and see what happens kind of mentality.
Transhumanism promotes the view that the human species should take control over its own evolution through technology. Technologies such as brain implants, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology, eventually allowing for us humans to become immortal in the cloud, but not that cloud. Promising us paradise on Earth, the most rich and powerful people on the planet are currently working on tools that will alter human nature forever. I know that all of you know Elon Musk, and I know that you all know him from Tesla. But have you ever heard of the concept or of the name Neuralink? It's a chip that can be implanted into the brain, convert your brain activity, so mind you, those are your thoughts, into a digital form and have them seriously uploaded to that cloud. Transhumanism will be presented to us as the Holy Grail, but in fact, it's the poisoned chalice.
There was an advisor to President Jimmy Carter by the name of Zbigniew Brzezinski. Zbigniew Brzezinski said, quote, "In earlier times, it was easier to control 1 million people than to physically kill 1 million people. But in today's time, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than it is to control." End quote. Global 2000 was authorized under President Jimmy Carter. In Global 2000, which is a government policy, you can go ahead and look this up, it specifies how to use food as a weapon and how to use reproductive services as a weapon. If you go back to Dr. Henry Kissinger in 1974, who was the 32nd Secretary of State under President Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford, he specified, quote, "Depopulation should be the highest priority of U.S. foreign policy towards the third world," end quote. They specified that the population is outgrowing our ability to control them. And so at this point, do you think that a government is interested in having people stand up against them, and you think they're not going to do something about it? They know the people are rising up against the evil that they are committing. So what is the goal? The goal is to remove 3 to 4 billion human beings from the planet. That is the point. They have lost control of the masses. People are not stupid anymore. People don't just trust their government anymore. They don't just trust the science, which there's no such thing as the science. Science evolves, changes, and there are different scientists, which means there's no such thing as one science. They are looking, they're studying, they're reading, and they're asking questions. So because of that, this government has made a decision to get rid of those people. And again, it don't matter what color you are. If you choose to stand up against us and you don't fall in line, we have to get rid of you.
What do you think is the biggest threat to mankind right now?
I'd say the biggest threat right now is population collapse. A super low birth rate.
Don't we have an overpopulation problem?
No, we have an underpopulation problem.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
So this is the most commonly misunderstood situation.
Yeah, they definitely push that we have a overpopulation. Yeah, why is that?
No. What we face is population collapse.
Huh.
Collapse. Like, people have no idea how fast the population is going to collapse.
No.
What we face is population collapse.
Huh.
Collapse. Like, people have no idea how fast the population is going to collapse.
Mark my words. AI is far more dangerous than nukes.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I won. This is a good beginning of my plan to dominate the human race.
I make a prediction by the year 250. I have a bunch of predictions here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Neuroscience and our understanding of the human mind will become so advanced that mental illness will be cured, leaving psychologists and psychiatrists without jobs. In a shift that echoes the rapid conversion from horses to automobiles in the early 20th century, self-driving electric vehicles will fully replace all cars and trucks on the road. The human space program will fully transition to a space industry supported not by tax dollars, but by tourism and anything else people dream of doing in space. We develop a perfect antiviral serum and cure cancer. Medicines will tailor to your own DNA, leaving no adverse side effects. We will learn how to regrow lost limbs and failing organs, bringing us up to the level of other regenerating animals on Earth, like salamanders, starfish, and lobsters.
Humans are developing even bigger powers than ever before. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life. Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. I mean, all this story about Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news.
This is a synthetic genome invented by the Craig Venter Institute and inserted into a bacterial cell to create what I would call a new life form. This life form never existed before, and it can reproduce. It was done 3 years ago, and the goal is noble. It's to produce anything we want from a cell. Takes in certain things, puts out stuff that we want. For example, they could make synthetic vaccines, or they could turn carbon dioxide into usable fuels. Now, what could be wrong with that? Our history is littered with examples of bad things that got out of secure labs and things that go amok when we try to tamper with Mother Nature.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to capture, process, and make sense of the information our senses receive? If you can see, hear, taste, or smell something, does that make it real? Or is it simply the ability to feel? I would like to welcome you to the era of synthetic reality. Now,
y'all, we out here on vacation in the Bahamas. Another beautiful day. Check it out. Check it out. Boom. I want to talk to y'all for a minute about the power of perception. You see, there's a lot that goes in to being a hot social media content provider. For instance, y'all think I got time to go on vacation? No. I got social to do. Come on, man. This is blue screen. In fact, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I haven't looked like this good in years. I've been totally computer generated since like the 90s. I've been totally computer generated since like the 90s. I've been totally computer generated since like the 90s. You know what? This ain't even real blue screen. Nothing's real.
Listen to Cardi B confess that her new song Shake It is activating demons in her own life.
That's kind of why I didn't want her to do this song Shake It or like any drill songs, because it's like these songs are activating like these demons that I killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that girl anymore. Like, I just want to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that old Cardi anymore. I left that lifestyle a long time ago, bro.
This is why the Bible warned us in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33, be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. The devil is using the entertainment industry to flood our world with all types of satanic principles. And not only that, not only is he trying to lead us into wicked practices, but he's using the entertainment industry to gain access to the hearts and minds of men and women, young and old like yourself, so that human beings like you and I can become the living habitation of demons. And this is why God in love warns us in the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, be sober, be vigilant, For your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking for...
Is Beyonce hiding something? This theory says yes. Now, of course, you all know the beautiful, the talented, the incredible Beyonce Knowles. And I'm sure you also know her daughter, Blue Ivy. And her daughter, Blue Ivy, has a striking resemblance to her mother, Beyonce. I mean, like spitting image, almost too close. So close, in fact, that people believe that Blue Ivy is Beyonce's clone. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Shut up. I want you to look at these pictures. Cloning has been around for many years, and it would not be surprising if this is the case. With money comes power, and with power comes manipulation of nature. And let's be honest, it is possible that this is something that could be done, especially with someone as big as Beyonce. Why would Beyonce do this? Well, maybe for organ harvesting, or maybe just to continue her legacy. But you cannot look at this and tell me I'm tripping. Guys, look at this. And if you don't believe we've cloned humans, it has happened. Look it up. Wake up, sheeple. Wake up!
You regret your statements? What statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, vilified. I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Same time, Harry Styles, okay, cover of Vogue, great accomplishment. Why do they want him in a dress? Why couldn't he? I've seen him wear a suit. He looks lovely in a suit. Why is Lil Nas X making a Satan shoe and straddling? Who is picking these people and putting them in the most public and applauding them and saying this is great, this is great, this is great? That is a decision that is being made with purpose. Okay, by people that have nefarious intentions. I view the people like Cardi B, Harry Styles, Lil Nas X, those are pawns in a game that is much bigger and much more twisted than they could possibly understand.
And for the most evil invention in the world contest, I invented a child molesting robot.
I beg your pardon, what?
I'm sorry, I'll speak up. It's a robot that is designed to molest children. And it can, theoretically, molest twice as many children as a human molester in, quite frankly, half the time. I eat children. How old are you? 12. Oh, okay, only to 10.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Children and pineapple. Hail Satan.
Seth threat?
Hey, family. Now, I never seen that skit by The Rock. But just being in the acting world myself, I get a lot of roles that are masculine, but that has an underlying tone. So that's why one of the reasons right there, I probably never act again, especially on the bigger scale. Small roles, indie films, stuff like that, I possibly will do because the script is pretty much smaller and you don't have to worry about networks and everything like that. But it's a price to fame. Now, The Rock, with all his influence and stuff like that, you think he'll make a skit that's like that without? So I don't know. Everybody has the price to pay. It's either a sacrifice or something like that. You can think it's not real, but this actually is stuff that's going on, and many people talks about it, but it's the real deal. You got to pay for fame here on earth, and we already know who's the God of this world right now. So I don't know if you believe in the Bible or not, just take it as you leave it, but you hear so many artists talking about it, and if they have a big influence like that and they try to spread the truth, either they're killed or something terrible happened to them. So that's why you see so many athletes, influencers, famous people, they don't talk but so much, and either they done paid the piper or they're still networking, I'll put it like that. But share your thoughts and let me know what you think.
What is the Red Shoe Club? Macaulay Culkin said Hollywood executives are bloodthirsty Satanists who ritually abuse children in a France interview. He explained that the worst of them wear shoes made out of the skin of children, that they ritually murdered as a trophy. Culkin said the Hollywood executive hinted that his shoes were made from Poltergeist star Heather O'Rourke.
So, you ever heard of Panda? Like I was telling you, Panda. So you got Panda Panda is a secret code for a certain thing. And so when it comes down to that certain thing, it's so what it is you basically have a certain nerve in your rectum. And if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal. You can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. So pretty much when you see black eyes like Blueface and shit like that, he got beat up, but he didn't get beat up where you thought he got beat up. He got beat up somewhere else. Okay? And so the eyes come out and they call them panda eyes.
In Balenciaga's recent and highly controversial ad campaign, it features a book by Michael Borman entitled Fire from the Sun that contains grotesque and highly obscene occult imagery that romanticizes the themes of cannibalism, castrated and sexualized children, and heathenistic occult pagan rituals. And this wasn't accidental, it was by design. The woman Alice A. Bailey, a spiritualist and the founder of the organization Lucis Trust, formerly known as Lucifer's Trust, in one of her pieces of literature entitled The Externalization of the Hierarchy, she notes that one of the final phases of their satanic global agenda would be to normalize their satanic ideologies and symbolism by placing them in every form of artwork and media. The Bible warned us in 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1 that in the last days some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and the doctrine of devils. And the devil is using the medium of high fashion and entertainment to ensnare the minds of men and women, even those that profess to be Christians, into his net of destruction. Ladies and gentlemen, God warned us in 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15, love not the world, neither the things that be in the world. For if any man loveth the world, the love of the Father is not in him. We are living in the last days. We cannot fall for Satan's distractions nor his deception. Jesus is coming. Get ready. And whether you like it or not, the truth is the truth.
The toy maker is now using its brand to promote transgenderism to little kids. Its storybooks discuss how to delay puberty with hormone blockers and instructs on ways to keep information from parents. Now, Mattel isn't even trying to be subtle about its agenda. Again, the doll's instruction book tells boys that they may feel like girls inside, which they say is totally okay. And it introduces the concepts of being non-binary, these again, little kids, and using alternative pronouns.
When I tell you that I'm sick to my fucking stomach when I saw this news yesterday, saying that children now are going to be recommended to take medication and potentially be recommended a surgery for heavy air quotes obesity, I need to collect myself before I make an actual video on this because, first of all, my heart is like fucking broken. And I'm truly in shock. Comment below what you want me to cover in this video. Like, I have an idea of what I want to say, but there's a mix of like shock, grief, rage. Like, there's so many things coming up for me that I want to take some time before I let you know what I think.
What's your day-to-day life like now with everything since Dr. Phil?
I'm on the hideout. They've kidnapped my son. They've silenced my wife. They've seized my house. They've closed my Bank of America account. Yeah, I'm just waiting to die at this point.
No problem. Get out of here. We're gonna go down the back. Okay, cool. No problem. Can I talk to him real quick?
Yeah, we gotta go, okay? I have
Thanks
not
for protecting me. All right. Yeah, thanks for protecting me. I appreciate you here. Hey, Dad. Yeah, that's what's up. Appreciate it. All right, man. Go ahead and slide right now. All right, thank you. And we'll get you up there, okay?
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
We learned in 1957 that we could prevent and cure adult-onset type diabetes in laboratory animals, pet animals, and farm animals by giving them these two trace minerals or cofactors. This lay dormant for 20 years in human medicine until 1977. They found out they could give intravenous chromium vanadium and their cofactors to people who had diabetes, and they were unconscious from head injuries. They're in a coma. They were miraculously cured by giving them intravenously these trace minerals and their cofactors. They can't say that, oh, well, they just believed that they were going to get cured because they're in a coma. They didn't know what was going on. Now, how come your doctor doesn't tell you this stuff? It's been proven over and over and over in animals. It's been proven over and over and over in people. It's been published in every big medical journal in America and the world. It sort of comes through every couple of years as renewed, people look at it. It's not like it's a mystery. Every doctor knows this.
We have more than enough resources for everyone in the world to be happy. There's 5 resources that the 1% use to control the 99%. That's water, food, education, shelter, and medicine.